Okay, well, we'll start this news conference. I want to thank everyone for coming today. I want to start off by thanking those who are watching the live stream for spending time with us to hear about this important announcement from Cedarville University about our connection with OpenAI and how this is going to impact our university from students to faculty and staff. For the media in the room, thanks for making the trek over here to Cedarville. I work with most of you all the time. And please know that in addition to enjoying working with you, I really appreciate each of you and value what you do and who you are. So thank you also for coming. So what's going to happen today is Dr. Thomas White is going to provide preliminary remarks about what we're doing, about the announcement. And once he's done, you are free to ask questions to him about this topic. But let me answer your first question and maybe take it off Dr. White. His name is Dr. Thomas White, spelled Thomas, last name White, White. That was easy. Let me welcome Dr. Thomas White to the podium.
Well, thank you all for joining us today. I'm honored to announce a significant milestone for Cedarville University and for higher education all across the state of Ohio. Cedarville is proud to be the first Christian college and also the very first college in the state of Ohio to implement a campus-wide ChatGPT EDU solution. This solution goes out to our faculty and our staff and all of our degree-seeking undergraduate and graduate students, providing them access to the latest technology from OpenAI. This initiative reflects our commitment to innovation. This is nothing new for Cedarville University. We have been committed to innovation and academic excellence throughout our history. We want to prepare students for a rapidly changing digital world. Now, you all wouldn't know this, but we adopted computers back in the early 1980s. We even adopted the internet with a campus-wide network, putting computers into dorm rooms in the early 1990s. We're one of the few undergraduate institutions that has a cadaver lab. We have the anatomage tables. We're actually even using virtual reality in our nursing programs this fall. We're also one of about 20 schools certified as a Center of Academic Excellence in Cyber Operations. So we want to be on the cutting edge. We feel it is important to train our students in the latest technology that society demands and to do so with biblical faithfulness and academic excellence so that our students are able to get jobs, so that they're able to lead the way. So we believe that by integrating the ChatGPT EDU solution across our curriculum and across our campus, it's going to enhance our educational responsibilities and opportunities. It's going to empower students with cutting-edge AI tools that support critical thinking. Now, that's important to us. This does not replace their thinking. It actually enhances and supports their thinking. So one of our long-term goals is to have an AI tutor available to our students any hour, day or night, that reflects back to our faculty members' lectures, to their notes, to their PowerPoints, to help the students learn the material in a greater way. This will provide a research assistant for all of our full-time faculty members who are seeking to dive into greater subjects, to write books, to publish. As a Christian university, though, we do this in a different way than others. We do this in a way that is biblically faithful. That means there are certain things that we're just not comfortable with, and so we're going to stand by our values. We're going to seek to have virtue in how we use ChatGPT. We're going to seek to have transparency. We're going to seek to encourage our students to embrace work as a good thing created by God. And so we want to make sure we do this in a way that is the right way for Cedarville. It's a bold step forward for us. I believe it will position us and our students and our faculty and staff to lead the way into chatgpt.edu. Artificial intelligence is not going away. You can see that in all of the news reports and all of the papers that you read. It's here. It's going to have an impact on our society. And the best thing we can do is embrace it, think through it wisely and carefully, and then train our students to be able to interact with it in a way that will help them to succeed in the workplace. We're excited to share more details if you have more questions.
That's the first question.
Why the decision to go with ChatGPT instead of something like Cloud or Gemini or many of the other options that are currently offered and available?
That's an excellent question. There are really about 3 players in the EDU market that have developed their EDU resources. We use Canvas as our learning management system, and ChatGPT.edu automatically interfaces with Canvas. There's a couple of different ways you can set that up, but it can point back to Canvas to help our faculty members actually create classes or to evaluate the weaknesses in those classes where there may be overlap. So it'll help our faculty members to have academic excellence at an even greater level. Also, by interfacing with Canvas, our learning management system, it allows our students then to create tutors. They've been doing this with Quizlet and some other technology, but it's just going to be a lot easier for them because it's there. We create that tutor, that custom GPT, and it interfaces directly with what is already our existing learning management software.
With the decision to make this decision in general, how long has it been in the books, especially since ChatGPT just went to version 5 that's supposed to be able to hallucinate less and hopefully be more accurate? But what are the concerns still about those hallucinations and accuracies?
Yeah, so one of the things we're pressing in is that we're responsible for the outcome of the work. If you're using a research assistant, if you're looking at a book, if you're using ChatGPT, you're responsible for the outcome of the work that has your name on it. And so even with ChatGPT version 5, our students are still going to be responsible for the assignments they turn in, for the work they produce, and one day in their jobs for how they actually utilize it. If you utilize it poorly, there will be responsibility and consequences that come with that. And so we want our students to make sure that they're the expert, which is why teaching will never go away. Critical thinking skills will never go away. Faculty members engaging with those students to help them reach that level of knowledge needed to know whether it's a hallucination or not will never go away. And so we're going to engage with them at a high level to increase critical thinking, not decrease critical thinking.
What are some of the ways that students and faculty will use this?
So I anticipate our faculty will use this as a research assistant. That's in fact one of the ways I've used it this summer. As I've worked to develop a Christian leadership class for our school, I used it to help mine and summarize books and principles and put those in an organized format that could be delivered. And so it was very helpful to do things that you really would have a hard time finding a research assistant to do in a lot less time. And so it makes it a very effective tool for that. A lot of the paperwork, a lot of the busy work, for faculty members, a lot of the work where they would say to students, it's in the syllabus over and over and over again. Well, now there's a chatbot. There's a custom GPT that the students can ask, and the faculty members don't have to ask the basic level questions. They can move to the next level questions and actually have engaging conversation with students about those higher critical thinking skills, about how they're doing in life, which will lead to more discipleship. For our students, I think they've already found ways to use this. I think they've been using Quizlet. I think they've been using ChatGPT outside of our network. We know that OpenAI and others have given students access to things free of charge in the past to let them see it and enjoy using it. I think they've been doing it. Now it's going to be in a closed network. It'll be in a safer type environment where we can help control the outcomes and push them to the right solutions. And so I think it's going to be a better product for our students, but I don't know that they're going to see a whole lot that's new and unique about it at the very beginning. As our community uses it and we realize new ways that we can use it, then I think you'll see advancements. But until everybody's engaged in that and as a community together, we're seeking how to use it with excellence, I don't know that we'll know the answer to all of those questions.
And how do you make sure that as AI continues to come into the educational space, that students learn authentically and faculty are teaching authentically as you start to integrate AI?
So I'm not concerned about our faculty teaching authentically. Our faculty are here because they want to interact with the students. We're not sending teacher assistants down that learned it a few years ago. We're actually sending faculty members that have been here 10, 15, 20 or more years. One we celebrated last week has taught for 55 years. Those faculty members want to engage with live students face-to-face. They want the discipleship and the academic excellence. On the student question, it's always been a problem. It's always been a concern. It will always be a concern. We go back to the internet and we had these same concerns. How do you guard plagiarism? Well, there's a software called Turnitin, and now you have the software and then you have the tool, and it's always a back and forth system to see who can catch who's plagiarizing and who can't. At the end of the day, we know that we are all going to be responsible for what we do with the opportunities given before us. If a student fails to learn their material, it's going to show up eventually. That may be in their career or in their job. So we want to challenge our students that we are a place of integrity. So one of our core values is integrity and conduct. Another is excellence and effort. If our students embrace that love for God, love for others, and those two core values, they're going to dive into this as a resource that can be utilized to help them advance and to be ready for a marketplace that is demanding AI knowledge already. If they choose to cheat and subvert the system, maybe they get away with it, maybe they don't. We're certainly not going to encourage it, but we also want to trust our students that they're here to do the right thing and to do it in the right way. We want to train them with excellence. So it'll be a challenge that we have to walk through.
There's other universities across and colleges that are implementing this. You're going to be the first university in the state to do this. Why was it important for Cedarville to look at this technology and incorporate it into the curriculum?
Yeah, there are roughly 175 schools that are already using this. So we're not blazing a trail that other schools have not already walked down. For me, what was important is I spent a lot of time diving into AI personally. I wanted to understand it. I wanted to see what the opportunities were. The more I got into it, the more I understood companies are going to demand AI knowledge in the future. I looked at the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times to see how many billions companies are spending in the AI race and the development. We know it's not going away. Are we going to stick our heads in the sand and decide that we want to resist the technology and be outdated? Or are we going to engage with it wisely, learn how to use it as a tool, just like other tools that we have at our disposal, and then put it forward? The only way a university can engage in it wisely is if everybody has access to it. So our decision was to say, it's not going to go away. So we better engage with it, we better learn from it, we better learn lessons when we make mistakes, and we better make sure our students are prepared for what the industry is already going to demand of them.
In regards to image generation, I don't know how the ChatGPT.edu works with it, but how is that going to work with authentication and integrity when it comes to using it as a tool versus using it to maybe create something that is not reflective of reality?
Right. ChatGPT.edu is a more controlled environment when you do it campus-wide like we're doing it. And so we do have the ability to track. We have some other opportunities that we can utilize. Of course, we want to balance that wisely with privacy and other things. We also have some plugins that are completely disconnected that would not fit with our moral stance here at Cedarville. And so some of the worst things you can do with it, we're not going to have those opportunities provided to our students in our system. Now, they're going to have opportunities to go outside of our system and do whatever they wish to do. And so we're going to try to make sure we proceed through it wisely. If we have students who are in art areas, they probably won't be using ChatGPT for any illustrations. They're going to produce those themselves. In other areas like graphic design, it's going to be an industry standard that you understand how to utilize the tools and to do it well. And so we'll have to adjust and adapt based on the class content, based on the major that the student is pursuing, and seek to use it wisely so that our students are prepared for what's coming ahead.
Sort of expanding on that, if it becomes an academic integrity problem, would Cedarville eventually move to testing or even just like verbal, like question and answer sessions in person?
Sure. So we've already talked about bringing back the blue books. I don't know that we will. I think we probably are going to change some of our assignments. And so you have certain assignments that are given to cheating with AI technology and really hard to determine. You have other assignments that can increase the critical thinking skills. And so as we adjust some assignments, some classes that can't be adjusted, maybe you take your test in class with the old blue book and the pencil, or maybe you have to verbally give answers and presentations. We'll adjust to what's necessary to make sure that we have academic excellence, critical thinking skills, embrace the goodness of work, and try to do this wisely. And of course, there will always be people who shortcut the system. That happens anywhere and everywhere. We'll do our best to minimize that and to walk through it and address any problems.
To that point, Doctor, is there also part of the policy developing, just like with any technology or any academic endeavors for students, would there be punishments or consequences?
Oh, yes.
To obviously misuse this kind of thing?
Yeah. At Cedarville, we know that we are all sinners. We all make mistakes. And so we also understand the locking arms with each other and to try to become better people together as we seek to pursue Christ and what He would tell us to do. If there's plagiarism, if there are offenses, There's often probation. There's often conversations, because a lot of times the symptom is not the real problem. There's a root behind that that's at the heart of the problem. We want to get to whatever the heart of the problem is. Maybe it's time management. Maybe it's a laziness issue. Maybe it's something else that results in what manifests itself as plagiarism. We not only want to suppress the end result, but we're not just after behavioral modification, we're actually after heart change. We want to make sure that we are actually seeking to do the right thing for the right reason in the right way. And so we'll press into both of those issues here on campus. And there are stiffer penalties for people who just reject those possibilities and continue to cheat or continue to plagiarize. We'll deal with that on a case-by-case basis.
And from an investment standpoint, is there a licensing agreement or fee that the universities had to pay to make it this widely available?
There is, of course. Yeah.
Are you planning, what's the plan to implement this? Is it going into this semester, or are you looking at next semester, or what's the time frame here?
So I announced it on Friday. Our IT team had an email ready to go out at 10:30, and 40 minutes later, our faculty and staff were engaged in it. And over 300 of our faculty and staff actually were testing out the AI implementation. Thousands of different chats took place over the weekend, and we had 4 training sessions on Friday afternoon. It's not just the access, it's also the training. One of the things that we're going to focus on this year is training our faculty, our staff, and our students who need it, how to utilize chat successfully. What will it do? What do we not need to use it to do? How can we get into the details? As a community, I think we're going to discover some really neat ways that we can utilize it together. Our students will get access to it next Monday. I'll announce it in our first chapel setting, and then there will be an email that goes out. They'll have access to it by that day. At that point in time, it will be ChatGPT 5, which is rolled out to us this Thursday. So it will be the latest technology from OpenAI, and our students will begin using it. Make no mistake, I understand our students are already using the technology. They're probably much more familiar with it than I am, and so it's not going to be a shocker to them. We will still have training for them, for those that want to go through that training, so that they can understand some of the different unique things you can do with it.
Should students or faculty have any concern about this, any data they input into it being used for training for any of other OpenAI?
That's a great question. So ours is actually a closed network. And so our models and all the information put into it, rough drafts of books, different articles that may be written, are not going to be used to train the OpenAI models that are public. So that's a unique aspect to what we have paid for, is we get the private network. There is some question in my own mind, though, being a Christian university and being a university that stands for truth and for academic excellence, how do we balance what we're doing with a closed network with the opportunity to actually help train the public models that they're using? I don't have answers to that question yet. So we'll use it in our closed network now. It may be that we eventually start unleashing some items for the public model to be trained with, just because it allows for various perspectives and it allows an academic institution to speak into what the common public's utilizing. We got to figure that out.
And are you able to disclose what that investment was in terms of a monetary value or licensing agreement?
Yeah, I'm not willing to do that this time.
Any other questions for Dr. White?
How long is the agreement for?
It's a 1-year agreement.
You guys consider this like a pilot? You'd see how it goes after 1 year, or what?
Well, there's an AI arms race out there. And if one technology seems to be advancing far superior to another technology, then I want to make sure that we are open to consider what is the right technology for Cedarville. At this point in time, the connection to Canvas means that's OpenAI and ChatGPT EDU. Doesn't mean it's always going to be the case. And so I think we want to keep our options open and evaluate. I don't think we're going to step back from using the technology, because I just don't see it going away. I see it advancing in everyday use in companies that are pushing forward to use AI in various ways. So as the companies are requiring it of our graduates, we want our graduates prepared day one to step into those companies and to be able to use it with integrity, but with excellence also. So trial, open to other opportunities maybe, but I don't see us stepping back from this. I think this is just the way we move forward into the future.
What a 1 year contract for
It is a 1-year contract.
evaluate at some point.
It's correct.
Do you have any plans as to implementing a counterbalance of the environmental impact of ChatGPT?
Yeah, at this time we do not.
Did the university have to do any additional technology upgrades to their servers or anything like that?
We did not.
Okay.
Yeah. We try to stay on the cutting edge with all of our technologies. So, excellent. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for coming. Exciting days ahead. We look forward to doing our best to lead the way wisely and with biblical faithfulness. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.